What if your dog doesn't actually love you the way you think they do? You feed them, you walk them, you gave them a place in your home, in your routine, in your life. Surely that means something. Surely the bond is there. But here's the thing, dogs don't measure love the way humans do. They don't ask who bought the food. They ask something much deeper. Am I safe with you? Can I relax when you're near? Do you understand what I'm saying before I have to shout it with my body? Because a dog can live in your house, sleep near your sofa, eat from your hand, and still not feel completely safe with you. That's the part most owners never want to consider. But once you see the signs, you can stop guessing, and you can start rebuilding. Here are 7 signs your dog may not feel as bonded to you as you think. They move away when you come close. You walk toward your dog and they turn their head. You sit beside them and they stand up. You reach out to pet them and suddenly they find something very interesting on the other side of the room. Most owners explain this away instantly. She's just independent. That's simply their personality. But when this becomes a consistent pattern, their body is already telling you something before their voice ever could. Closeness does not feel comfortable to them. And here is where most owners make it worse. The dog moves away. So we follow. We reach out again. We say, "Come here. I just want to pet you." But to a dog who asks for space and still feels uncomfortable, being followed does not feel like love. It feels like pressure. Over time, the dog learns their signals do not work. So they ask louder, or they simply stop trying altogether. So what actually helps? Stop chasing the closeness. When your dog moves away, let them go. Stay calm. Stay still. Stay quiet. Because a dog that is allowed to leave is far more likely to choose to come back. And that choice is where the bond begins. They avoid soft eye contact. You look over at your dog and they look away. You catch their gaze for a moment and they break it immediately. You try to connect and they find somewhere else to focus. Most owners do not even notice this, or they assume their dog simply is not the eye contact type. But research tells a different story. A 2015 study found that soft mutual gaze between dogs and their owners increased oxytocin in both, the same hormone linked to bonding between a mother and her child. A dog who feels safe with you will naturally look at you, not a hard stare, not a tense watch from across the room, a soft glance, a quiet check-in, a look that says, "I know you are there and I am okay." But if your dog consistently turns away when you look at them, your attention may feel heavy to them. Not comforting, heavy. Maybe your gaze predicts correction. Maybe your hands predict being handled before they are ready. So do not force eye contact. Become someone they want to look at. Calm movement, softer voice, predictable reactions. Because when a dog stops needing to protect themselves from your attention, the glance comes back on its own. Their body goes still when you touch them. You stroke your dog's head and their muscles harden. You hug them and their breathing changes. You rub their belly and they stop moving completely. They do not run away, they stay. So you assume they must enjoy it. But stillness is not always comfort. Sometimes stillness is a dog trying to disappear inside their own body. Dogs speak softly before they speak loudly. A lip lick, a yawn, a head turn, a body that suddenly goes very still, a breath held 1 second too long. These are not random little movements. They are the beginning of a sentence. And if those signals are ignored again and again, the dog may eventually growl or snap. Then people say it came out of nowhere, but it rarely does. The dog was talking. The human just never heard the quiet part. A dog who genuinely enjoys being touched participates in it. They lean in. They stay loose. They ask for more. A dog who only endures touch is telling you something completely different. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do is simply stop. Not because you love them less, because you finally understood what their body was saying. 4. They only come to you when something is available. The fridge opens and your dog appears. You pick up the leash and they are suddenly right beside you. You reach for the treat bag and they are your best friend in the world. But when nothing is on offer, they are somewhere else entirely. That can hurt to notice, but it is important. Dogs are brilliant pattern readers. If most of your relationship has been built around things, food, walks, commands, rewards, your dog may have learned to see you mainly as a provider, not a companion. The difference is subtle, but it matters. A transaction says, "What do you have for me?" A bond says, "I simply feel better when I am near you." A truly bonded dog lies near you when nothing is happening. They check in on walks without being called. They sit in the same room for no reason at all. They choose closeness when there is no reward on offer. So do not stop rewarding your dog, but start building moments that are not negotiations. A quiet sit together, a slow walk with no agenda, a calm voice when nothing is being asked. Let your dog discover that being near you does not always come with a demand. Sometimes it simply feels safe. And for a dog, safe is where love begins. 5. They cannot fully relax around you. Your dog is in the room with you. They are lying down. They look calm. Their eyes might even be closed, but their ears are still tracking every move you make. Their head lifts every time you shift in your seat. Their body stays slightly tense. They sleep near the exit. They wake the moment your chair creaks. That is not rest. That is monitoring. And monitoring is exhausting. A dog who truly trusts you can switch everything off. Their breathing slows. Their body melts into the floor. They roll onto their side. They sleep deeply. They leave the room without needing to watch what happens inside it. Because real rest requires real safety. No animal fully relaxes near someone their nervous system does not trust. So ask yourself an honest question. What does your presence predict for your dog? Does it predict calm and consistency? Or does it predict sudden movements, unexpected handling, being grabbed, interrupted, or corrected without warning? Dogs do not need perfect owners, but they need predictable ones. The safest person in a dog's world is not always the loudest or the most affectionate. Sometimes it is simply the one who is quiet, steady, and consistent. And when a dog finally sleeps deeply beside you, that is not just tiredness, that is trust with its eyes closed. 6. They never check back when they are free. You let your dog off the leash in an open space. They run, they explore, they disappear into the distance, and they never once look back. Not a glance, not a quick check, not a single moment of, "Are you still there?" Most owners shrug and think, "They're just having fun." But watch a bonded dog in the same situation. They run, they explore, and then, without being called, without a treat in sight, they glance back, just for a second. A quiet little check-in that says, "You are still there. Good. I can keep going." That glance is not obedience. It is attachment. It means your presence matters even when the world is interesting, even when there are smells to follow and things to chase and freedom to enjoy. But if your dog runs off and never checks in that moment, outside, you are not yet their safe base. And punishment will not fix that. Shouting only teaches your dog that your voice becomes intense when freedom appears. Instead, make checking in worth something. Reward the glance. Use your voice warmly before you need it urgently. Become part of the adventure. Because a dog who looks back when they do not have to is not just checking your location, they are checking their anchor. 7. They obey you, but they do not trust you. Your dog sits when you say sit. They stay when you say stay. They come when called. They follow commands quickly and cleanly. And you think, we have a strong bond. Maybe, but not always. A dog can obey because they trust your guidance, and a dog can obey because they are afraid of making a mistake. Those two dogs may perform the exact same command, but they do not feel the same inside it. The trusting dog looks loose and willing. They recover quickly if they get something wrong. They are not afraid to try. Their tail moves. Their eyes stay soft. The fearful dog looks careful and tense. Their eyes flick up at you, constantly checking. Their body lowers slightly. Their movements say one thing clearly: please do not be upset with me. That is not a bond. That is risk management. And it is one of the saddest things in dog training. A dog can look perfectly behaved while feeling completely unsafe inside. Training should never make a dog smaller. It should make them clearer, more confident, more connected. So stop asking only, does my dog do what I say? Start asking the better question: how does my dog feel when they do it? Because the strongest bond is never built on fear of consequences. It is built when a dog trusts you enough to simply learn. Closing and key lesson. So, does your dog love you? For most people watching this, the answer is yes. But love is not always enough on its own. It can be buried under fear, held back by pressure, hidden beneath stress signals that nobody ever learned to read. Damaged quietly over years of small moments where the dog tried to communicate and the human simply did not hear. But here is what makes dogs remarkable. They update quickly when the world becomes safer, when you stop chasing, when you stop forcing affection, when you stop punishing communication, when your hands become predictable, when your voice becomes steady, when your presence stops feeling like something to manage. The dog begins to ask a new question. Maybe this person is safe. Maybe I can move closer. Maybe I can rest here. Maybe I do not need to watch everything all the time. And slowly, the signs begin to shift. A softer glance, a looser body, a dog who chooses to sit near you when nobody asked, a check-in on a quiet walk, a deep sleep in the same room. Small things, but in a dog's world, small things are often everything. Your dog does not need you to be perfect. They need you to be present, predictable, and paying attention. Because once they feel truly safe with you, everything else follows.